Good morning, dear viewers, and everyone who's watching us through KTV2. Welcome to a new episode of your morning program, Good Morning Kuwait. And today, as always, we have various segments and a special guest that we are so happy and pleased to have with us this morning. So please keep watching us till the end of the episode. So hello and good morning, Aziz.
Good morning, my co-host Sara. Good morning, our working crew, and good morning, everyone, and welcome to your show, Good Morning Kuwait. This is your host, Abdulaziz Darwish. We are coming to you live this morning from the Ministry of Information Studios here in downtown Kuwait. As usual, our camera crew are traveling all around our lovely country, state of Kuwait, to show you great events, and even we have a distinguished guest today. We're going to join us today in this time permitting. When I mention about the distinguished guest, today we have a distinguished guest, one who talk about, we call it education, and the other about traveling, especially in summer.
Especially in summer, we are both have some active, let's say, issue regarding the students, or the graduated students, especially from the high school student, the 12th grade, and also about the traveling. But first of all, Aziz, let's talk about the 12th grade graduated student in the high school. Now it's really a crucial and sensitive period of time for them. Now they are thinking, what college I have to attend, what to study, what subject, what job I have to be like in 10 years from now. It's really a crucial time. So there is some advices I would like to give to our student, but you have something to add, Aziz?
Actually, it's the most important now these days, especially after they graduate from the high school. They have to negotiate with their parents first of all. So you have just everyone who's watching us with the KTV2, the parents, and even the students. You have to now preparing for what about your major. So when you choose about your major, then choose a country. Today we have a distinguished guest from US. They will talk more about to studying abroad in US.
Yes, we're going to know more about how we're going to study in the US in specific. But dear viewers, especially dear students, it's really a crucial time. But as my colleague Aziz said, consult your parents, the elder ones, the older, let's say, students who studied like abroad or even inside Kuwait. But the most important thing, don't let anyone to take a decision for you. You have to decide for yourself what subject I have to study, what I'm gonna be in 10 years from now. Don't get affected by anyone else. And trust me, you're gonna be fine. And good luck for your exams. I think Aziz is the last week of exams, isn't it?
I wish all the best on behalf of our show, Good Morning Kuwait. Wish all the best for all the students for their exam. And even today, because, before you travel, you have always check what the weather.
The weather, exactly. So dear viewers, how about to check the weather forecast with our colleague, and then we'll be right back to you.
Good morning, dear viewers. Hot weather by day with light to moderate northwesterly wind with a speed of 10 to 45 km per hour. There is a chance for rising dust, especially over desert areas. Tonight, it's going to be rather hot weather with light to moderate northwesterly wind with a speed of 10 to 40 km per hour, freshening at times. Maximum temperature may reach 44 and 45 degrees here in Kuwait City and Kuwait International Airport. State of sea in general is going to be slight to moderate rough at times, and the wave height from 2 to 6 feet. Avoid all marine activities for your safety. Expected weather in Kuwait City for the next 5 days is going to be hot to very hot weather by day with light to moderate freshening northwesterly wind will continue with us until the end of this coming weekend, but at night it's going to be rather hot weather with light to moderate northwesterly wind will come down a little bit between 10 to 40 km per hour. Minimum temperature will range between 30 to 35 degrees over Kuwait City, over some areas, also the desert areas, but freshening wind expected will continue with us for the next 5 days over some areas. Chances for rising dust over some areas. Expected low visibility. Please always take a caution while you're driving. This is our weather forecasting this morning. Thanks for watching us. And now, let's go back to our colleague.
Thanks to our colleague Fahad Lautabi for updating us with the latest updates of the weather forecast for Kuwait. And now, dear viewers, let's move on with Kuna News. A decree issued on formation of a new government led by His Highness Sheikh Ahmed Nawaf Al Ahmed Al Sabah, comprising 15 ministries.
June 19 of 1961 is a pivotal day in the history of Kuwait as it marks the end of the British protection treaty and emergence the modern state. The late Emir Sheikh Abdullah Salim had signed the Declaration of the Independence with the British government chief political residence in Arabian Gulf Sir George Middleton. 3 years after the declaration, a decree was signed on May 18, 1964, merging the National Day with the day in which Sheikh Abdullah Salim assumed office, making it February 25. Celebrations were held on that day as in 1965.
The state of Kuwait on Sunday sent its 15th Air Force aircraft carrying 10 tons of food and medical supplies to violence hit Sudan.
The US dollars on Sunday dropped by 0.12%. To Kuwaiti dinar 0.306 and the euros rose by 1.03% to Kuwaiti dinar 0.335. The Central Bank of Kuwait CBK said in this daily bulletin that the British sterling pound rose by 1.34% to Kuwaiti dinar 0.393, as well as the Swiss franc that rose by 0.98% to Kuwaiti dinar 0.343, while the Japanese yen stood at Kuwaiti dinar 0.002. This is our news for today. Let's go to this break, then we'll continue again. We are back to our show again. Good morning, Kuwait. Before we are continuing about our first report, you know, in Africa continent, they have like a language. It's already spreading worldwide, which is Swahili.
Really?
Swahili in Africa, it's like the most common language, and because you know the African countries are 58 countries, so more than the half of them they speak Swahili. Like the famous language Hakuna Matata means no problem. So I know this kind of days they commemorate the Africans Day.
That's amazing. Have you been to Africa, Aziz, before? That's great. So we know Good Morning Kuwait also provide us the great reports to too many countries all around the world. Now let's take you to Africa. A great gathering of African embassies in Kuwait was held for the Africa Day commemorate event in June 11, 2023. Activities for June. Every embassy had a booth to showcase its cultural arts and show videos, as well as products and national music will be displayed. This event was open all Kuwaiti and African national living in Kuwait. That's great.
And with the reception with the VIP excellencies from friendly countries and even the African community in the state of Kuwait. In addition to present in this African Day, so you see the African culture and also the tourists and even about the investment opportunities was organized. So our camera crew was a chance to be in this event. Let's watch it together. Then we'll be right back again.
Hello everyone, this is Hajar Limhanna and we are here to cover the 2023 African Day, where we shed the light on their music, culture, and so many activities. So to know more about that, keep on watching us.
We are very happy to be here today and honored to represent the Ministry of Information, the state of Kuwait, in this very important event. Today, all the African countries in Kuwait are celebrating this important day today, which is called the Africa Day. It is a day where all the embassies have booths where they showcase their important products, including arts, including cloths, different colors, beautiful music, culture as well. So this is a very important day on many aspects, including celebrating the important and excellent relations that are enjoyed between the African countries and the state of Kuwait.
So on behalf of Indonesian government and also Indonesian people, we would like to congratulate our brothers and sisters from Africa who celebrating African Day today here in Kuwait. Yeah. So I will pray for the prosperous, all the African countries. And African countries, they are big, they are huge, they are very developed. So again, that congratulate to my brothers and sisters of African countries. Thank you.
We are here to talk about Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is in West Africa, near to Benin, Togo, and Niger, Ghana. the border is between them. So the famous place to visit in Burkina Faso is the peak of Sindou, which is located in east of Burkina Faso. And the most thing that we export outside is gold and cotton than animals, the cattle. So and we are very happy to have you in Burkina Faso, and welcome to Burkina Faso.
My name is Hassani. I'm from Comoros. It's my pleasure today to be here in the African Day. We are part of those people who have organized this event today. So the African Day is a special day for everyone, and especially for Comoros. As you can see, today we are here where we're going to present a lot of the stuff that we have as cultural stuff. We have some of the treasure that we present for the country, like the gold in which it is presented for marriages. You have also behind us the clothes, we call them the traditional clothes. Really, some of those traditional clothes, we cannot explain them right now. We are so glad to be here today for this event. Thank you.
Well, that was the African Day, as you can see and listen to the lovely music. We got to know their culture, their food products, which is tasty and delicious. So I'll see you next time with more exciting stuff.
We are back to our show again. Good morning, Kuwait. We're moving for our first interview segment via phone call. So today we'll be covering a topic of a great interest for all Kuwaitis studying in US and students also visas. So let's welcome Catherine Gary, Cultural Attaché. Hello and good morning.
Hi, good morning. It's my pleasure to be here with you.
You're most welcome, and thank you so much for joining us today and this morning. First of all, our guest, Catherine, why should the students from Kuwait consider studying in the US?
Thank you so much. Well, I would just like to say, first of all, my best wishes to all of the students who are studying for their final exams right now, and congratulations to all of the graduates. So I may be biased in saying this, but in my opinion, the United States is one of the best destinations in the world for study. And this is because it's one of the best places to experience cultural diversity. We have so many different international students coming from many different countries, and we also have many, many different international residents and visitors to the United States. When a student, especially a Kuwaiti student, chooses to study in the United States, they will get the opportunity to experience a lively and vibrant campus life. And by choosing to study outside of Kuwait, especially in the United States, a student will have the opportunity to enhance their critical thinking skills and analytical thinking skills. And it's well known that the United States is a leader in academic excellence. And we also have an incredibly flexible educational system. So there really is the best fit for every student. And also, our universities are known for their excellent support system for international students. And so I would encourage any student who may be hesitant just to know that they will have a network of support from the day they arrive in the United States.
Nice.
And then just one more thing, looking to post-graduation, a U.S. degree really will support them for employment opportunities as they go into the workforce.
Nice. And our guest, Catherine, will talk more about another aspect. So what are some things to consider when you're choosing a school in the US, in your point of view?
Thank you so much. Well, I would say the United States has colleges and universities across all of our 50 states. And I think the most important thing to keep in mind is to select a school that meets the individual student's needs. Every student is unique, and what might work for one student, it might not be a good fit for a different student. So things to consider would be the cost of a school, location, size, kind of the campus feel that you're looking for, and then the types of majors, clubs, and activities that would be available on the campus. And of course, all of those different factors are related to one another. And so maybe one student wants a small school, maybe one student wants a rural experience or to live in the middle of a major city. And so taking all of those factors to find the right fit for the individual student is very important.
Nice. Our guest, Catherine Gary from Cultural Attaché, would like to thank you today for joining us today this morning. And thank you so much. I wish you all the best. Thank you for this informative information. Now, dear viewers, let's go to this tiny break, then we'll continue.
Well, we came back again, dear viewers. First of all, we'd like to thank through the phone with us the acting public affairs, Mr. the consular of Cultural Attaché, Catherine Gary, who will. She told us already about the U.S. and how the student can be applying for can study abroad in the U.S. But now, dear viewers, how about to welcome our dear guest for today? We're gonna talk more about the U.S. visa and the student who gonna go and willing to be studied abroad. Mark Perry is an acting consular and general. So hello and good morning, Mr. Mark.
Good morning. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you with us in our show, Good Morning Kuwait. And we spoke today about the students who would willing to study in the U.S. and the preparation for applying for the visa and much more. We're going to learn with you, Mr. Mark. But first of all, we'd like to know about yourself. So could you please introduce yourself to our dear viewers?
Sure, I'm happy to. So my name is Mark Perry. I'm the Acting Consul General in the U.S. Embassy here in Kuwait. I've been in Kuwait about a year. I enjoy it so far. It's a great place to live and work, and I've been doing this job for about since 2005, so getting close to 20 years.
That's amazing, 20 years in that field. So, Mr. Mark, which other places you have been other than in Kuwait?
Sure. So before I came to Kuwait, I was in Cairo. Also been in Latin America. Mexico and Peru.
That's amazing. So, dear Mark, let's talk now about our dear students who graduated from high school and now they are thinking to study in U.S. So, why is it really good idea for our dear student to study abroad, especially in the U.S.?
So, I think the U.S. offers a lot of things. It offers, one, a great education. It's also a very multicultural place, as my colleague Katie mentioned. And it's a great way for a student to see something different, to experience something different, and to get a great education. And we value that. The U.S. government, we value that experience and hope lots of students can take advantage of it.
That's amazing. So let's talk now about the visa. What are the preparations for applying for a visa to study abroad?
Sure. So the key thing to get a visa to study in the United States, it's actually pretty simple, but it all starts with getting accepted to a school. The school gives you a document called the I-20, and that becomes the basis for your application for the visa. So you get the I-20 application, then you can make an appointment online through our system and come apply for your visa at the embassy.
That's easy.
Yeah.
So they should bring some of those like documents for an interview?
Yes, of course. So the process starts online. We have a website, ustraveldocs.com. So you go to this website. On that website, you make an appointment. You pay the visa fee. You fill out the application. And then once you have all of those things, you come to the embassy. You bring your I-20 document with you that you got from the school. You bring your passport, your photo, your application page, all of those documents. You don't have to remember any of this because the website walks you through all of it.
Yes.
And you bring that to the embassy. On the day of your interview, you have your interview, and then you find out at the end if you qualify for the visa.
What if, in case the student gets refused by a visa? What's going to happen? What is the next step?
So there are a couple of things. So in some cases, the main qualification to get a non-immigrant visa, so a visa like a student visa, is that you have to show that you're going to return to your country after you're done studying. And if you aren't able to completely prove that, then your visa may be refused, and you'll find out at the end of the interview if that's the case. So that's kind of one of the main reasons why someone might get refused. A second type of refusal, and it's a little bit confusing, but we call it a refusal because we're not able to issue the visa in that moment. We need some additional information. So it could be at the end of the interview, we might tell you, we need you to provide some additional documentation. We need a new I-20 from your school. We need some bank documents or something like that. And in that case, your visa is refused for that moment. And then once you provide that documentation, we can continue processing it.
That's great. So what if case like the visa expires while the students are studying like in the US right now? What are procedure?
So one of the interesting things about a visa is that a visa is only permission to ask to go into the United States.
Yes.
So that gives you the chance to go to the border and ask to be let in. So once you're let in as a student, and so long as you maintain your student status, you can stay in the United States past the expiration date of your visa.
Yes.
So that's okay. If it expires while you're studying, it's just if you travel outside of the United States, you'll need to get a new visa before you go back.
There is a type of visa, it's called F2 visa, I think. Can you please elaborate more about this type of visa?
Sure. The F2 visa are for family members, like a spouse and children of someone who's going to study. So if you're married and you want to take your wife or your husband or your children,
Yes.
you can get F2 visas for those family members, and they can accompany you to the United States.
That's great. So, Mr. Mark, let's talk about the students who are willing and they are studying to, like, beside the visa application and the preparations, what they need to take with them when they study to the U.S. as a student? What
Sure.
advices do you provide for them?
So of course you're going to take everything you would normally take on a trip when you go to study.
Yes.
And in terms of your visa, one really important thing is you need to take the I-20 document that the school gave you. I keep mentioning this, but it's very critical. So you want to keep that in your hand. You don't want to put that in your checked luggage, because the immigration will ask for that when you enter the United States. They want to see the visa in your passport and your I-20 document. So you want to keep that in your hand. You take those to the border, you apply for entry, you let in, and then you go study and learn about the United States.
That's easy. So, Mr. Mark, if someone like are living now, not living, like they're visiting U.S. and then they change their mind, they want to be a student, can they change like from tourist like visa to student visa while they are in the U.S., or it's really impossible?
It's definitely possible. So you can't travel. You can travel as a student up to 30 days before the start of your program. Now, if you wanted to go earlier to get settled, and some people like to do that, you couldn't enter as a student if it was more than 30 days before your program started. You could enter as if you had a tourist visa, and you can definitely have a tourist visa and a student visa at the same time. So you could enter as a tourist visa. It is possible to change status, but I don't recommend it personally because that process takes time. And so if you submit an application to change your status, if that takes longer than the start date of your program, you can't study until that happens, so you might miss the start of the program. So the best option, in my opinion, if you want to go earlier, you enter on your tourist visa. At some point within 30 days, you leave the United States before the start of your program,
Yes.
and then you go back in on your student visa, and then you're completely covered and legal.
That's really great. So in case like one of the students, they are not really fluent in English and they would like to study like in the US, what advices you would like to provide for them?
Find a friend that speaks English and practice.
That's amazing.
That would be great. Second thing, there are a lot of colleges that offer programs that English, so they understand a lot of foreign students might need to brush up on their English, and so those schools offer those programs. A lot of students here take advantage of that. They go, they do a year of studying English, and then they begin their academic program.
That's amazing. So find a friend and practice with them to speak English.
Yep.
So there's other courses there before like applying to the main college. Let's say there's a workshop or like courses for studying English, learning English.
Yes, yeah, a lot of universities offer this option. Students can go and they just study English for a year, a semester, whatever it is, and then they begin their academic studies.
Well, I know there's a lot of students really confused, like what university they would like to join, like which one is really has really high rank, like medium rank or low rank. Who will help them to choose which university is really fit to them?
So picking a university is a personal choice, and there's a lot of factors that go into it. You know, what you're looking for, what you want to study. You're right, there's a lot of confusion and information out there. Luckily, our cultural attaché office has a lot of information and programs that you can contact them, and they will provide you with information about schools. If you're interested in a certain field of study, what schools are known for that. They can provide you a lot of context and background about, and help you kind of get into the school that you want to, that will be a good fit for you.
What makes actually US really special for our Kuwaiti student to study there? They want someone to encourage them to study in the US. Is it really easy, university there?
You know, it can be a challenge. I think it's hard for anyone who's going from high school to the university, and I've had you know, a few kids that have just done this recently, and making that transition is always difficult. You know, there are some challenges, but everybody's in the same boat. And I think the benefit for Kuwaiti students and just any international student in general is that you get to go and experience the United States. In my opinion, it's a great country. It's so many things to see and do. It's so multicultural. It's you get a good education and you get to experience all of that at the same time. It's just it's a great opportunity for anyone.
I'm pretty sure US is really a lovely country with the friendly people. Like since decade, Kuwait is go abroad and study in the US till now. So let's get back, Mr. Mark, to the visa application and how to apply to a visa. Some students, they will ask what they will gonna ask me like during the interview. Are they really gonna be difficult questions or so?
Yeah, so good question. So basically what we want to know in the interview is what is your plan? So we'll ask you maybe, why are you going to study what you're going to study? Why did you choose the university that you chose to study at? What is your long-term plan? What do you hope to do with your education? And it's pretty simple. It's a very simple interview. It probably only takes a couple of minutes, and we just want to understand what your future is, what you're planning to do, and when you're finished with your studies, what do you hope to accomplish?
It's really easy. Do you have any last word, Mr. Mark?
Well, we just hope that you consider studying in the United States. It's a great place, and if you do, we're more than happy to help you get the visa. That's what we're here for.
Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for your generous information and golden advices. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Big thanks and appreciation to our dear guest, Mr. Mark Perry, an acting counselor in the General. Don't go away, dear viewers. Let's have this tiny little break, and then we'll move on.
We are back again to our show, Good Morning Kuwait. We're moving for our next report. The Ministry of Interior's half of Kuwait, safeness and protecting citizens is provided because of the effort submitted to those who already provide from these great officers. Major Sarah is one of the programs, is a great associated. She's already will talk more about the traffic. So let's watch it together with our colleague, Sarah Jamida. Will be right back again.
Welcome to Morning's special report on the 3-second rule for driving. We all know that driving on the roads can be a stressful and challenging experience, especially during rush hour. But did you know that there is a simple technique that can help you stay safe and avoid accidents? It's called the 3-second rule. And today we will be discussing what it is and how it can benefit you. First, let's define what the 3-second rule is. Essentially, it is a method of maintaining safe following distance while driving. To use the 3-second rule, you simply need to choose a stationary object on the road ahead, like a sign or a tree. When the vehicle in front of you passes the object, you should count to 3. Before you reach the same point, if you reach the object before you finish counting, you are following too closely and need to back off. So, why is the 3-second rule so important? Well, for one thing, it gives you more time to react to sudden changes in traffic conditions. If the car in front of you suddenly slams on their brakes, you will have more distance to stop your vehicle and avoid collision. Additionally, the 3-second rule helps to reduce the likelihood of rear-end collisions, which are one of the most common types of accidents on the road. Maybe it's not always easy to maintain a 3-second following distance, especially in heavy traffic, but by being mindful of your speed and paying attention to the road ahead, you can greatly reduce the risk of accidents and keep yourself and others safe. In conclusion, the 3-second rule is a simply yet effective way to stay safe on the road. By maintaining a safe following distance, you can reduce your risk of accidents and keep yourself and others out of harm's way. So, the next time you are behind the wheel, remember to count to 3 and give yourself plenty of space to react. Thank you for watching and stay safe out there on the roads.
A geologist, a marine scientist, and an entrepreneur. But the main passion for him is traveling, exploring the world, communicating with nature, and going through unique experiences, even if he repeats them. It is kind of specialized in making tourist trips and adventures for groups globally and locally in Kuwait in the way that we offer and the unique adventure experiences, whether local or international. Join him on the trips around the world to explore the abilities and our hidden personalities while enjoying adventures and tourism at the same time. He offers everything that is distinctive in the world of travel mix between tourism, adventures, science, cultural, and historical experiences around the world, and getting to know the customs of different people and civilization.
We are back again to our show, Good Morning Kuwait. After we saw already a glimpse about our distinguished guest, so he offers everything that is distinctive in the world of the travel mix between tourism and even adventure science and even science, cultural and even historical experiences all around the world, and getting to know more about the customs of different peoples and even civilizations of the ancient and even the modern world, exceptional trips of its kind that he already present to you in this unique, distinctive way with campus travel and even adventure. So let's welcome with us today Jasim Abbas. He's an adventure and even geologist. Hello and good morning.
Good morning. It is lovely morning here and it's cold, but it reminds me in Iceland. Thank you for this introduction. And yeah, we are here with you.
You're most welcome and thank you so much for joining us. After the question, the conversation will be warming up a little.
Yes, it's okay.
We're warming up, throwing our conversation. I noticed already in the last report about our working crew, the group with the Kuwaiti flag at the end. Yes. You are usually like, you are doing this always on purpose, like every last at the end of any adventure or in distinctive adventures?
I really love Kuwait, and when I start my passion in traveling and to deliver those experiences to others, the name of Kuwait always in my mind. So in every trip, I bring my flag with me and we take a group picture together when we end the trip together. It's lovely to raise up our flag everywhere around the world. It's like a brand awareness for our country.
And even the identity, because you say travel is like a book. People who don't travel only read one page. So when every time we have a new page, you have to also to show our identity.
Of course.
Nice.
And there is also, I always say it like this, don't listen to a story. Be the man in the story, or be the lady in the story. So go and discover the unknown in the world.
So you be the storyteller. This is the most important thing. So now we'll go back to the beginning. So you are a geologist, and even you are you are into science. Then you become an adventurer. How was it like this one merging to another?
It was very nice and good to read in the books like. The methods, theories about geological formation, how the earth was formed, the marine life, how is it. So
it's like something helps something.
Yes, something helps something.
It's like
and
a series.
I decide when I graduate from the university to see those information in the real life. I started to travel, and the first trip was to the Sultanate of Oman in Hormuz Strait. I lost myself there for 4 days without any internet, and it was my first trip alone. It was nice to find myself, to explore a new skills of mine in this trip. So from there, like more than 15 years ago.
Yes.
It's started.
And by the way, on behalf of our show, Good Morning Kuwait, we're sending our appreciation for our family, Sultanate of Oman. I know Sultanate of Oman. It's like the distinctive, and we call it the tourist attraction for climbing. You can climb there, and you can dive there. So is it easy to climb and dive at the same day if you are like a tour guide?
Technically, no. You can. You can climb, then dive, but not diving, then climbing.
Yes.
And this is all because of the nitrogen gases in our body when we dive. So it's we have to avoid it when we climb.
So what about the gears? You keep holding the gears all day with you?
No, of course not. This is very heavy. If we dive, there is a lot of other equipment than the climbing equipment. There is harness, ropes, carabiners, and in the diving there is tanks and the BCD and the jacket, all the things. It's very different. And by experience, of course, the adventurer himself will be so quick to deal with those two different equipments, and we say like
you have to be always preparing.
Yes, of course, and we have to plan ahead our journeys or adventure trips.
Nice. And there is something else. When you mention about the journeys and trips, I know campus, you already been moving all around the world with the traveling and people registering for your travels. So what about the qualification to be a tour guide? I know it's not easy, but it's not difficult. But it's about a passion, right?
It is about passion, but we have to consider 3 words in this subject.
Which are?
To be informative.
Informative.
Not only memorizing the facts, but informative and knowing what you are saying.
Okay.
And patient with the clients, of course. The 3rd one, to be professional and getting certificate in your field. Without these three categories, you will not be a good guide and international guide. From my experience, we face a lot of problems. We have, and to be added to those 3, you have to be a quick problem solver. And fast decision maker. Without being a fast decision maker, you are not a leader, you are not a guide, and you will not be qualified for this. I encourage all people who are in this field nowadays, as it is getting wider in this tourism sector and leading people, to get certified from any agency around the world and lead a group professionally.
Nice. And this is a good thing. You mentioned something important to everyone's watching us through the KTV2 about the 3 pillars to be the best tour guide ever. 9 days ago, I'd like to congratulate you about your birthday.
Thank you so much.
So it's 11 June, right? 11th of June.
It was last week. Yeah.
That time you've been in Kyrgyzstan.
Yes.
Yeah, so you celebrate your birthday in Kyrgyzstan with your like too many groups with you. How was that travel that time?
Kyrgyzstan, I chose this country because it's pure nature and untouched lands. There is not too much tourists there. And I decided to challenge myself in this trip to have only $150.
$150 only. $150.
$150 for 2 person, and we spent it for 5 days. Actually, we saved $11 and $11 extra. We saved. We slept with the local family in the farm, free stay. The other day it was in a tent. The day after it was somewhere in the wild. We were like a nomad, and without pushing ourselves to the limits of our comfort zone, to be out of our comfort zone, we will find ourselves. As I said in the beginning, the human being, the humankind, he like to explore the unknown. This is our human nature. Everybody has this sense. So I was there and I'm trying to find the unknown in myself. Nice. Before finding the unknown in the others.
So what about the communication, the languages? How do you communicate with the people in Kyrgyzstan?
It was very difficult, but it was funny, and I tried to learn a few words before I go. Nice. To break the barrier between me and the local people. Especially my trip was depending on the local transportation. Nice. And staying with local people.
So you have to deal with local people.
Yeah, yes. Knowing 2 or 3 words, it will make a smile on the local people. The same here when we see foreign people coming to Kuwait and they try to speak the local language. We say, how you say that? And it is it makes us happy. Nice. And we will try to help the others. Yeah. The same thing happened in the Kyrgyzstan. Nice. And there is I want to mention that they have a very unique local meal.
Okay.
One of the days we slept in the tent in the canyon. It was so freezing, so we start to settle up our campfire, and a local guy saw us from a far distance, and he came. He said, "What you are doing?" Of course, with the few words. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. It's okay.
He offered us horse meat, and it was our dinner. It was delicious and strange taste as well.
And then, so in brief, what about the Iceland? In the beginning, you mentioned the Iceland country.
Iceland. Oh, Iceland, it's my dream country. Many times I read about it in my books. When I go there, I feel like surrounded by many geological formation. The whole books I read for 4 years in the university surrounding me, from the hot springs to being inside the earth in the volcano.
Yes,
You can't imagine from to put ourselves inside the volcano. It is a nice and unique experience.
It's like the beauty of the we call it the landscape.
Landscape, amazing. I call it always the great nature. You will only find it in Iceland.
In Iceland,
yes.
This is amazing thing. So now we talk about one country from Europe, and we'll choose now different continents. So what about Kenya?
Kenya, it's amazing. It's very nice country. Has a lot of culture and tradition, and of course, when we say Kenya, we will mention the safari and the huge national reserve they have there, and it is the biggest national reserve in the world, shared by two countries between Tanzania and Kenya. You will see the huge migration from wild beasts to the lions eating the wild beasts and the other big five animals.
Nice. This becomes about the country. So before we end our conversation, I heard about your participation for the adventure exhibition. It was in UAE in Dubai, right?
Yes.
You were the only Kuwaitis are there in the exhibition.
Yes, we were representing Kuwait actually in ATM. Which is the biggest Arabian travel market in the region. The last year we spent a lot of days in the conference around the world related to the tourism sector, and it was successful journey for us.
Nice, amazing. So we say all the times, good time run very fast. We didn't fill the time. Thank you so much for joining us, but I know you want to say something before we end our conversation, right? You want to say something?
If I want to end our conversation today, I will say we have a future plan to focus more in tourism in the state of Kuwait. And of course, we will assist and help the responsible authorities in Kuwait if they want any ideas to share our knowledge regarding how to enhance and to make a lot of traffic of tourism in Kuwait. I'm ready to it.
Nice, amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
So special thanks to our guest Jassim Abbas. He's an adventure and geologist. He already mentioned to you about how to be a good tour guide, how to take his social responsibility to raise our Kuwaiti flag high. Now let's go to this tiny break. Then we'll continue. Dear viewers, we reached the end of our episode for today. Hope you enjoyed our semi, the educational, and even about the traveling. See you next time. Have a good day.
Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.